how many of you guys would say that you have a sales cycle that typically lasts longer than 1 day? Yeah, door-to-door people are really the only people that are like, dude, if they don't buy the first time, they're never gonna buy. Which I can understand because I went door-to-door for 8 years. But basically, the rest of us, we all have, a sales cycle that takes a week, several months sometimes several years. And basically, you guys are familiar with the triangle of death, where you have pricing, you have quality, and then you have speed. So if you're like, hey man, build me a car, you're like, okay. And you're like, I want a cheap car that's like unbelievably fast and I want it built by tomorrow. Well, that's impossible because you're gonna be skimping out on quality and you just said you wanted quality. And then some people are like, you know what? I don't care how much it costs, I'll pay whatever, but I need it, right now. Well, sorry, it doesn't matter. The quality that you're looking for and the price that you're willing to pay just doesn't justify us actually even doing it. So you can only pick 2 out of 3 things. Now, when it comes to selling, right? We can sell on the fact that, hey man, we have 99% off. We have the best price right now. This is basically free. Like, dude, it's no money. Make a decision. Let's roll. Right? Or we can make a decision on education. Am I educated? Do I know exactly how this life insurance policy works? Do I know exactly what I'm paying for? Do I know exactly what I'm getting? Do I know exactly what salesperson I'm working with for this company? Do I know all the details? Am I educated? Or you have the relationship. So take, for instance, me on life insurance again, because it's an easy example and I think we all understand what the hell it is. So life insurance, for that matter, I can either get a cold call right now from somebody that's like, dude, we're gonna cover you, we're gonna give you a $5 million umbrella, huge policy, $10 trillion death benefit if anything happens to you, we'll give it to Marion, and it's gonna be free. I'd be like, okay, I'll do that deal, right? Because they're just selling on this unbelievable, like, discounted price. Like, by the way, you have to make a decision right now. If you hang up the phone, we're going back to our normal price. I'm a buyer for that all day long, and I think all of you guys would probably too. So you have that. But now, if all the prices are pretty much the same, everybody's pretty much competitive with the same kind of rate for the same type of life insurance or whatever, and somebody calls me, I'm probably going to hold out on that because my dad does life insurance. So I have this relationship here with my dad, and I have unbelievable amounts of trust with him, obviously. I know that he's not going to try to screw me over or, give me a policy I don't need. And so those would be really the 2 instances in which you don't need 2 out of these 3 things. And so I look back at Sprint, right? My deal with Sprint, that was a $1.3 million deal that I did with them, and it took me 2.5 years. Because I wanted to keep my price high, so I couldn't go into Sprint and say, hey, for $5, I'm going to train everybody at Sprint. They probably would have been like, okay, let's do this deal. And it would have reduced the sales cycle from 2.5 years to probably 2.5 minutes. And that's not good because I don't make any money off of $5, right? And a lot of us, we have higher priced. We want to keep our prices high. We want as much revenue and as much income as we possibly can get out of each customer. And sometimes what I don't like to train on, what I don't like to teach is discounting and this and that and the other thing. What I like to train on is I like to train on the education you can provide to somebody with a mixture of creating a relationship where they can know, like, and trust who they're working with. And so I want to give you guys a little bit of encouragement as you guys are selling longer sales cycle deals and you're scratching your head wondering, like, dude, why on hell hasn't Henry signed up right now? It's been a month. Like, this guy probably has all the education, all the information, and understands our product and everything. The one thing that you just might be missing, and there's no way to train this, there's no way to develop the skill on this, but sometimes it's just developing the awareness that, dude, this is going to take me an extra month of a couple more touches, couple more memes, couple more phone calls, videos, whatever, to get this person to establish the relationship that they need to in order to get the money. Now, in some instances, and I've done this in the past as well, is I'm in the middle of building the relationship with my client, but I really need a deal in now, or I really want to get a deal in before the end of the year or whatever, right? There's something that I can do to kind of skip out on this relationship if I don't have enough time in my, my month, my quarter, my year to get this deal in. What I can do is I can revert back to price now and say, hey, it's the end of the year. Look, I'm not taking any discounts on the monthly price, but if you're a business owner, people understand this, you got to get some money off the books. Instead of 40 grand for this product, I'll reduce it down to 10 if you pay in cash by the end of the year. And now what I've done is I've skimped out a little bit on the relationship, and now I'm using a little bit of this money and this discount to build that urgency that I need to get somebody in the sweet spot of actually doing business with me. So more often than not, the things that I like to preach is no discounts. Keep your prices as high as possible. In fact, you should probably try to be the highest price in the marketplace so that you can give yourself an excuse to rely on building a great relationship that's full of education and information. Because when people know, like, and trust you, plus they're informed and educated on your product, your service, your companies, your warranties, whatever, that's where you get people into that sweet spot where they're willing to do business with you. But you need at least 2 out of the 3 things on this triangle in order to get a deal done. So for those of you kind of getting into the end of the year here, you might want to consider that little cash off the books line. I'll be talking a lot about that as we get into the end of the year, because right about now is when business owners are getting with their CPAs and they're like, oh man, we've been really profitable. And their CPA's like, yeah, but you need to get $1.2 million off the books right now, or else you're going to have to pay taxes. And business owners are like, haha, well, time to go to Amazon and buy everything I've ever wanted for my business, my office, my building, whatever. And that's a perfect time for an Austin Burlick to call and be like, hey, need to get some cash off the books. I know that you didn't really like paying $5 grand a month for our service, but if you write me a check for $55,000, I'll save you $5 grand. You can get some cash off the books, get a whole lot of credit card miles, and make me one hell of a happy camper. What do you say? And that's a great close at the end of the year as you guys are going in, is cash off the books. Because trust me, profitable business owners need to get piles and boatloads of cash off the books. And there'll probably be an instance where I'm going to be reaching out to you guys in some type of email saying, hey, was a pretty good year for you, Reggie. Instead of paying $99 a month and paying me $1,200 over the next year, why don't you just write me a check for $9.99? You'll keep the access, save $200, and you won't have a monthly bill, and you can get cash off the books. And if you got that Capital One Venture card, I'm going to get you 2x your miles on each dollar you spend. You need 2,000 miles somewhere? And maybe Reggie's like, hell yeah, dude. That sounds like a win-win-win-win-win. And that's how I get more money in my back pocket. Tanner says, can you pay now? Tanner, you can absolutely pay now. I'll send you the link right now, dude. It's a real thing. It's a real thing, dude. You pay $9.99, you get access to Stupar Sales Academy for an entire year. It's a no-brainer. I mean, I can't stand those deals because I like the monthly recurring, but Tanner's a good buddy of mine. I'll take your $1,000 anytime, bro. But no, that's all a real conversation to have. And again, it's a great thing to have some awareness on this triangle, because again, you need to have 2 of these filled. You can't just go in, unless it's like Jordan and my dad. I don't need to have the best price, and I certainly don't even need to know what he's selling me, because I trust my dad to outline a policy that's perfect for me. So, without those types of outliers and those types of relationships, just a general type of sales type thing, you guys are going to have to focus on those 3 points of the triangle in order to get somebody to make a move. And then obviously everything inside Stupar Sales Academy, everything that we talk about is geared around how you educate your buyer, because that's what sales truly is nowadays. It's way less about, oh dude, he's a closer. I crushed that deal with Channing, dude. I told him to do it anyway and he did it,